Hi, Mark Radcliffe here, back at Edge Studios near Capesthorne Hall in Cheshire for another exclusive stream concert. This time we have a singer-songwriter different to any other singer-songwriter I know, drawing inspiration from all kinds of unlikely places. The smallest observations, almost in the way that a stand-up comedian would put an act together. This guy just picks up images and words and phrases from all over the place and turns them into songs. When I first saw him at Llangollen Town Hall, actually, we were sharing a stage, and I was really impressed with how he held an audience that night. So I know you are going to enjoy him. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining us, for supporting Chris and musicians in general. All of us here at Edge Studios believe passionately in trying to help out at these times where there are no gigs. So he's originally from Northwich, just down the road here in Cheshire, and so I know you're going to enjoy spending some time with Chris Tavener.
Matt Hancock was missing from office. Then we were missing updates from Boris. We need it all explained to us. We need someone that we can trust. Well, I found them. 'Cause it seems that Bill on Facebook isn't just your average plumber. He's got the secret intel, will be sorted by next summer. And Janine, who posts stuff when she's pissed, is now a trained virologist. It's lucky that I know the folks I know. My old high school friend who used to share his film reviews from Netflix is now a local expert on the Chinese healthcare metrics. And I didn't know my neighbor knew the news before the papers. Oh, it's lucky that I know the folks I know. Well, don't go out and don't watch the news. The Who have forecast summertime blues. We need to feel we're guided while we're spending time divided. But don't worry, 'cause I've heard that John on Twitter is the savior of the hour. He said that he'd run rings around whichever bloke's in power. And Denise, who loves a BuzzFeed quiz, is now a UN scientist. It's lucky that I know the folks I know. So if you need informants on corruption in Westminster, then I would trust in Sasha, who just posts it on her Insta. Course she's also now a doctor, analyst and mortgage lawyer. Oh, it's lucky that I know the folks I know. Oh, it's lucky that I know the folks I know. Well, it's lucky that I know the folks I know. Thank you very much for joining me. My name's Chris Tavener. I'm a satirical singer-songwriter here at the Edge Studios, performing a little live stream for you. Very happy to be here. Now, that was a little quirky song called Folks I Know. I wrote that during UK lockdown version 1. And I'm living currently in a localized lockdown in Manchester. So yeah, it's been a funny old year for musicians during this coronavirus pandemic, but I'm very happy to be performing for you tonight. Now, I didn't want you to think that perhaps I play all quirky songs, given the satirical songs, but I thought I'd play you something that's a little darker and a little grittier. This one's in a minor key. This one's about being cool. It's called Faking Cool. Play-Doh, I'm harder than hard-boiled sweets. I've got my own style that was taken from films that I've seen. My friends always tell me that no one looks better than me. But I'm not just a pretty face, I've also got a sexy physique. Oh, I'm dashing like Elvis, but he hasn't got my mystique. My mystique. I wish I'd met James Dean, 'cause I think he'd like to be me. I'm just so enigmatic without even having to speak. But the feeling never goes that maybe everybody knows that I'm faking cool. I'm faking cool. I'm faking cool. Oh, faking cool. Well, I'm hot on guitar, but I don't really know any chords. The girls always tell me that I could win poser awards. Yeah, awards. I only wear leather and sunglasses when I'm indoors. And I'm as slick as I can be, a rebel without any flaws. But for everything I've said, now all that's going through my head is I'm faking cool. I'm faking cool. I'm faking cool. Oh, faking cool. And it feels so hard to drop the facade when your back's against the wall. And I'm petrified that when I strip it all back, I'll be left with nothing at all. I'm so freaking cool. But I'll never have it spread, 'cause I can't have anybody said that I'm faking cool. I'm faking cool, and the news will never spread, 'cause I'll never have it said that I'm faking cool. I'm faking cool. I'm faking cool. Oh, faking cool. Thank you very much. That song's called Faking Cool. And now it's back to the quirky stuff. This one's called Apocalypse Prediction. And, well, I thought I'd play something nice and positive. So here we go. This is one about the end of the world. It goes like this. I've had a premonition, a sneaking superstition that the world is gonna end today. And now I've had the vision, I'm on a major mission, letting every single person know. You better tell your friends, you better tell your wife, dump everything you own, don't be thinking twice. Go hiding underground because the end is nigh in 1999. I might have been mistaken, that misinterpretation didn't have the figures all in line. But you can put your faith in my new recalculation, 'cause I'm sure I've got it right this time. You better lose yourself, you better turn and run, and guard your food supply with a loaded gun. Then hope you make it through, because the end is nigh in the winter of 2012. 2012, I think we might have gone slightly preemptive with that feature film. It's all about 2020. Well, I wouldn't wait for the rapture, for Jesus knocking on your door. Well, he's been gone 2,000 years, and he could be 2,000 more. What if the world had just ended? What if we couldn't even tell? The earth went out 2 hours ago, and now we're all living in hell. You just haven't noticed yet. Apocalypse depiction, humanity's addiction could be ever going on and on. And every new prediction could be a work of fiction, yeah, but nobody can say who's wrong. You better tell your friends, you better tell your wife how much you think of them being in your life. Make every second count, because for all you know, your world could all end right now. Thank you very much. We've still got some time, yeah, loads of time. Not ending just yet. All right, well, I thought I'd play you something very new for all you live stream watchers. This is a song I wrote earlier this year, and this is a song really about climate change skeptics, because what I've always quite admired about climate change skeptics is how much science and intellect they often bring to the table, he said, ironically, and this is one of their arguments. There are many arguments, even the US president has been known to make this argument. This is called, "It's Cold Outside Today." And it goes like this. Bloody hell, it's in the news again today. This climate crisis never seems to stop. I wish they'd change the tune from all this doom and gloom. All this world destruction really puts me off. So they found another whale in the Thames. What if he just went to see Big Ben? And it's not really my concern if there's a penguin getting sunburned when I'm wearing my new winter coat inside. But these climate geeks arrive with all this army by their side, and they like to say that we're not very clever. Well, I'm no meteorologist, but the wind outside is pretty brisk, and they keep on saying we're in for hotter weather. You keep your stats, I'm facing facts, 'cause it's cold outside today. Bloody hell, they're in the streets again today. They're shouting that the earth's on its last legs. Makes my stomach sink. It's awful when you think that I'll have to walk around to get to Greg's. So is all this new disruption justified? I missed the final batch of hot steak pies. And if the world is set to cook and the sea is drowning Norfolk, well, I've heard their feet are wet, so they'd be fine. Well, these climate geeks appear, they say it's hotter every year, and they seem to think their scientists are flawless. Now, I'm not one to question stuff, but is all this been researched enough? 'Cause it often gets quite nippy here in August. You keep your stats, I'm bad at maths, and it's cold outside today. So these climate geeks arrive with all this army by their side, and they like to say that we're not very clever. Well, I'm no meteorologist, but the wind outside is pretty brisk, and they keep on saying we're in for hotter weather. You keep your stats, I'm facing facts, 'cause it's cold outside today. And if there's really climate crisis, surely I can't plead the blame. I'm just 1 in 7 billion, someone else should have to change. If I haven't seen the proof with my own eyes, then really, what is there to say? But it's cold outside today. Thanks very much. That one's called "It's Cold Outside Today." A little song about climate change skeptics. I love saying thank you very much after every song, even though I can't hear you, but I know you're out there, all you listeners. And for anyone who's listening from Northwich, which is my hometown, up there in Cheshire, where we are now, and if you're listening, this one's for you guys especially. This is a song about first world problems and small town problems, But I think it really applies to many small towns up and down the country. And during these pandemic times, it's almost like this song, it doesn't feel as topical and relatable anymore, but I've been playing it for many years, and I think it's always good to maintain perspective on your position in the world. As English people, we are still quite lucky. And I thought I'd play this one next. This one's called The Crisis in Northwich. Well, there's exploitation in China, gun crime in the USA, the social distance in Russia, Korea could blow us away. Oh, there's chemical warfare in the Middle East, poverty's spread right through. The people are starving in Africa, but hey, what else is new? The crisis in Northwich, the pub on my road shut down. Oh, there's earthquakes shaking down Haiti, tornadoes hitting Bangladesh, the ice sheets melting in Greenland, each day they report less and less. Oh, there's hurricanes sweeping the United States, and Canada's crushed with snow. Tsunamis are drowning the Philippines, in case you didn't know. But nobody's mentioned the crisis in Northwich. It's rained every day this week. Oh, the price of housing's a nightmare, and I don't know who to accuse. The traffic's bad at the weekend, but you won't get that on the news. Oh, why be worried about your street when your garden's overgrown? Why look over your neighbor's fence when you can't take care of your home? Well, there's major flooding in Thailand, pandemics out of Mexico. There's 19 countries in Europe won't let the euro go. Oh, there's deforestation in the tropics now, wildfires every day. There's blood spilling chaos in Africa, but that's all far away. 'Cause nobody's mentioned the crisis in Northwich. The buses all finish at 6. Hashtag Save Northwich. Nobody's mentioned the crisis in Northwich.
Well, we have some common ground with Northwich.
We do.
Don't we? I mean, I lived there for many, many years, but you were born there.
I was, indeed, yeah. Grew up there and lived there till I was basically 22.
Right.
And, yeah.
And the pub actually did close down, didn't it?
Shut down, it's a true story, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the Beech Tree in Barnton, for all you Barntonians
Right,
listening,
yeah.
your Jamtown people.
It's just how I was thinking, listening to that, actually, that it's quite a prescient song, because we now live in a world of localised lockdowns.
Yeah.
So actually, the crisis in Northwich
It's a genuine one.
is a genuine one. Like, people might be very much feeling that, even though
Yeah.
the song when he wrote it was kind of flippant in its own way. But now the world immediately around people is something they're experiencing in a different way, isn't it?
That's very true. I mean, yeah, when I wrote it, it almost felt like, what are people complaining about, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But now it seems it's a worldwide pandemic now,
Yeah.
and it's ever present, and there really is a crisis going on now. So
Yeah.
it's strange how it comes.
You write
around.
about all kinds of stuff, don't you? I mean, a lot of people sort of write a lot of love songs, or people write sort of issue songs or whatever, but you can seemingly draw inspiration from anywhere, from tiny details of life, really.
Yeah, that's right, really. A lot of the things that inspire me are sort of things that I hear and social observations, and just kind of turning them into an ironic situation is what I really enjoy, being really sarcastic and ironic.
Because we did a gig together.
We
shared a stage, didn't we? And that was the first time I'd seen you, and I was watching you, and it was like you sort of seemed to be operating somewhere between singer-songwriter and stand-up, really.
Yeah, that's it. And I do tend to straddle the two scenes when I'm gigging as well. I do a lot of comedy clubs and comedy gigs, and then I do the music stuff as well. And it's nice to be in those two worlds, kind of writing this satirical stuff. And it was a fantastic gig, by the way, as well, with Galleon Blast.
It was
such a great night.
Where was that? It was a great venue. Where was it?
Llangollen Town Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a gorgeous venue, wasn't it?
Yeah, and gorgeous town as well.
Indeed,
I went for a little bit of sightseeing while I was there.
Yeah, no, it was a really good night. Obviously, tough times for musicians.
Indeed.
No gigs.
Yeah.
I've talked to all kinds of people about ways that they are making a few quid, and doing things like this is great, obviously.
Of course.
You were telling me about one that I hadn't come across before. It was sort of like, well, tell us, like customized greeting songs or something.
Basically, that's it. Yeah, I got in touch with a company called Songfinch over in the US, and they're doing personalized song gifts for people's birthdays, weddings, just for your partner, for your family, or
so like
Mother's
the way you
Day.
could order a bespoke birthday card or whatever.
Exactly, yeah. And you order bespoke lyrics depending on your situation. And it's brilliant, the system they've got, because all you as a songwriter have to do is present a series of song foundations. So it could even be songs you've written before.
Yeah.
And then you replace the lyrics every time you get a new order in. So it's something like an hour or two's job just to record some vocals for the verses, and the chorus is always the same. So yeah, it's a really novel way to kind of keep songwriters busy, and it's quite well paid as well. It's good, $100 per commission.
Yeah, but it's not bad, is it?
Yeah, it's good, definitely, since we're all out of work as well at the minute.
Well,
and
indeed.
so much time to write. It's a really nice thing to do. And it's also really rewarding, because if you think about, I've almost got quite emotional thinking about some of these families getting these song gifts, and they've written quite personal stories about themselves and said, can you please put this in a song? And yeah, it's such a nice and rewarding thing to be doing.
I mean, it's obviously going quite well. How do these people in Urinal, Idaho, or Coal Scuttle, Arizona, how do they feel about having a Northwich accent on all these songs?
Well, at least they can understand me, hopefully.
Do you find yourself sort of lapsing into a sort of mid-Atlantic drawl?
A little bit, yeah. When I see it's Texas or something, I really get tempted to go all rockabilly or hillbilly and something. But there are different discrepancies. I mean, I've been picked up a couple of times on my lack of knowledge of Americanisms, because they say Nissan very differently over there in America. It's Nissan rather than Nissan, and that's something I would have never even thought of. So yeah, there are people, middlemen, sort of checking up on you that make sure you've gotten it all right.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I went to Bolton School. The most famous person to come out of Bolton School, depending on your point of view, would either be Nigel Short, the chess grandmaster, or Sir Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
And you've done something with Ian McKellen.
I have. Nothing with Nigel Short yet, though.
No, well, it could
I'll
still
take
happen.
that one.
But,
Yeah, it could still
well, you've done something with me and Ian McKellen.
There you go.
So come on, Nige.
Exactly. I want to get everybody from Bolton.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, as you mentioned, I did. I got contacted by someone who's working with Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital down in London, and they were organising a project with Sir Ian based on animation shorts that had been written by kids at the hospital, and it was just such a really nice sort of charitable initiative to be involved in. And initially, they were going to have James Corden singing the part that I wrote in the song. And then eventually they thought, do you want to do it, Chris? It feels right to do it. And I actually recorded the song here at Edge Studios. And I got to sing alongside Ian McKellen, which is such a nice thing to be able to do. Nice thing to put on my CV, I suppose, musical CV.
And you're going to do that song next for us, I think.
Yeah, I think since I'm back here, and I haven't been really back since, it's really nice to be able to be back here, so I'll do this one next. This is called The Meteor and the Moon. A lovely little story about a meteor flying through space who meets his friend the Moon, played by Sir Ian McKellen.
Lovely. Chris Tavener.
Thanks, Mark. I once was a beautiful mountain. I had friends and a place to belong. But back then we weren't ever counting on a meteor coming along. blasting me off on the most exciting ride. A million new worlds were glowing at me, and I waved as I flew by. The journey got cold, a coat of ice grew around my head. Then when it was hot, I let off some gas and I went bright red. I feel so very special when an alien shouted cheese. But the cosmos is lonely, 'cause mostly it's only me. Look at the universe, it's terribly dark on your own. When you're with someone else, it starts to feel like home. Somehow I went through a fracture in space, that's when things became bizarre. A blood orange moon was smiling at me as I watched him from afar. And when I got near a meatball planet with onion rings, celestial cats were playing with me like a ball of string. I know it always looks so cool when you're racing a shooting star, but without your partner in orbit, it feels like you're falling apart. Look at the universe, it's terribly dark on your own. When you're with someone else, it starts to feel like home. Hold on, hey, is it just me? Or did I just grow a tree? Look at us now, we're turning green. Look at the universe, it's terribly dark on your own. When you're with someone else, it starts to feel like home. Thank you. That was a little song called The Meteor in the Moon, a story devised by a kid at Great Ormond Street Hospital, and such an inventive story about a meteor and moon being brought together. Okay, I thought I'd play another kind of an upbeat one, but in a sort of ironic sense, because this is about men's mental health, and I wanted to put an upbeat satirical spin on this particular subject. This one's called Bottle It Up, and I have to say to any men out there, do not bottle it up. In fact, do the exact opposite of everything the character in this song does. Here goes. As a child, I was a crier on a moaning myrtle scale. Mufasa's death was a downer. Free Willy made me wail. My daddy was my hero then. He'd light my way. He'd dry my baby eyes and then he'd say, "You got to bottle it up, son. You got to bottle it up, son. Don't ever show you're hurt or scared. Shut up, kid, no one cares. You got to bottle it up, son. If you carry on like this, son, you'll be disowned, you'll die alone. Move on, be strong, man up." Ha! What a dad. Oh, that mantra manifested in the manner of a man, with all the sugar sweetness of a dried up bowl of bran. When life would throw a punch at me, I'd punch it back. Whenever I feel tweaks when I attack. Oh, because Because I bottle it up, Jack. It's all water off a duck's back. You'll never find out how I feel. This duck is made of steel. Because I bottle it up, Jack. You'll find that a hard nut won't crack. I feel alright now, I scream inside. Move on, be strong, man up. Because I bottle it up, man. Yeah, cause I bottle it up, man. Oh, you'll never find me in a slump. I'm as happy as Melania Trump. Because I bottle it up, man. Yeah, cause I bottle it up, man. Don't ask what's wrong, just sing along. Move on, be strong, man up. 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 Thank you all. That's a little song called Bottle It Up. And for anyone, men listening, or for anyone who really, please don't bottle up your emotions. Yeah. So those last two songs were both recorded here at Edge Studios. And it's very nice to be back here performing them. Feels very strange even. And I'll finish off, I'll make it a trio by doing this last one. It was also recorded at the Edge. And I released it earlier this year. Again, quite an inopportune time to release this song, because this is about traveling millennials. And usually in the summertime, you see a lot of people in South America, Indonesia, Australia maybe, English nationals showing off about their amazing holidays, their incredible gap years, as these young digital nomads go flying off across the world. And it's very impressive, and they're all sort of writing home going, why doesn't everybody do this? Why don't everybody quit the 9-to-5 jobs and take their MacBooks and go traveling and blogging around the world? But you know, a lot of them are secretly writing home to their parents going, please, can I have another $3,000 from my trust fund? So this is really about those traveling millennials who are big show-offs. And perhaps not as spiritual as they might appear to be. So yeah, and this is how it goes. And I imagine they, write delicately to their parents. A bit like this. Dear old people, we don't really think that you understand us. We can't get off on an office that doesn't really speak to us. And we're sorry that everyone thinks we're inherently selfish, when all that we've ever wanted is all that we've ever wanted. Tour the world and live our lives in permanent bliss. If you're not into traveling, then you might as well be dead. That's a fact, it's what Columbus would have said. Dear old people, it's not like you had a dream of your own once, and being married with kids isn't what everybody wants. We want hammocks, but we want them inside so we don't get our phones wet. 'Cause we are digital nomads, and we are carving our own path. We can change the world in ways you won't ever get. If all you do is run hotels, or you pilot all our planes while we meditate and wait for Insta-fame. Little instrumental section here. I like to meditate in this part. Feel free to do that at home. Dear old people, we just want to write hypothetical letters and be bohemian artists, making the journey last forever. Life's for living, doing Malibu shots on the back of a hippo, and and ski while eating a croissant. Review the tropical restaurants that we only went to 'cause of all the reviews. We want to help wash elephants even if they wash themselves. Most of all, we want to truly find ourselves and to never be like anybody else. Yours sincerely, all the traveling millennials. Thank you. And thank you to all the traveling millennials for inspiring that last song. All right, I keep moving the capo when I actually need it on that exact space. I'm going to do you a song now that's, again, something that's not really happening during the pandemic times, but we can always remember. This is a song called Modern Romance, and it's another soft little romantic-y song. I like to think of it as an ode to the great British Friday and Saturday night out, certainly nowadays. And this is always my least PG song when I'm performing live. For those of you a sensitive disposition, so to say. It goes like this. I met her in a club in town. The feeling was instant, the world felt so distant, even though we were squashed in the crowd. Things happened very rapidly. Her head hit my shoulder and I pushed her over, but she got both her arms around me. I pulled her hair and she detangled mine. We kissed and she bit on my tongue. Now she's reaching down to the zip on my trousers. Oh, I can just feel this is love. 'Cause she's so drunk now. I'm so drunk now. Well, she's violently keen to have me. She's so drunk now. I'm so drunk now. We're in love and we're both delving in this modern romance. I reckon we were made to be. Couldn't be random, we dry humped in tandem, and we both smelled of beer, sweat and weed. She stood up like a duck on ice. She mumbled some nonsense to do with her conscience as she took me away from the lights. She took my fingers and licked every one, then nestled my hand in her pants. Now we're in the toilets, I already know that we'll each get a taste of romance. 'Cause she's so drunk now, I'm so drunk now. Oh, she's violently keen to have me. And she's so drunk now, I'm so drunk now. We're in love and we're both delving in. I'm feeling sick. She's so drunk now. I'm so drunk now. But it seems like she only wants me. And she's so drunk now. I'm so drunk now. We're in love and we're both delving in this modern romance. This modern romance. All right, well, thank you very much for listening today. My name is Chris Tavener, a satirical singer-songwriter from Didsbury. Thank you very much to Mark Radcliffe and to the Edge Studios for having me here on the stream. Please do continue to support the musicians and the arts out there, and any local venues near you. I'm going to play out on a little song that is probably one of my oldest songs, and it's still on YouTube. It's a song about wealth and snobbery, but it's more upbeat than it sounds. And this one's called I'm Better Than You. The ground, we were LA bound on a plane that I had just board. All my entourage had a full massage with a drink of every sort. And then you had to stare at my collection of art. I had to bury it deep underground, irretrievably far. Oh, I've got a 5-bedroom house in Rome that I've never seen. I've got a team of cleaners to keep my Bugatti clean. And boy, I'm better than you. Oh, you sip champagne through a diamond cane in a club that I just bought. And we filled a tray with the best cocaine so we wouldn't come up short. And then she had to touch my satin velvet tie. I had to take it to the best dry cleaners at least 10 times. Oh, I've got a room at the Ritz for when I feel I could eat. I've got a penthouse suite with a view from 1,000 feet. And boy, I'm better than you. Oh! Now I don't mean to brag, but I don't care about the cost. We better keep this all offline so my daddy won't cut me off. We hit the beach in a hot tub each on an island I just bought. My servants served all their best hors d'oeuvres, the lobster that they caught. And then he had to ask for some tomato sauce. I had to pay all my guests to roll back out from the shore. Oh, I've got a few bodyguards to keep back all common thugs. I'm a member of 30 elite and exclusive clubs. And boy, I'm better than you. Oh, and boy, well, I'm better than you. Thank you very much. Cheers all.